Okay, right, I did say I'd do a video on making half square triangles. Well, as it stands at the moment, I want to do my bed runner second block. So what I'm actually going to do is make them in the colours and make them in the sizes that I really want. So first thing I need to do is get a straight edge because I've got a selvage on here. So just plop that down. My cutters are working so much better since I sharpened them. So now I've got a straight edge. Okay. Let me think. Now the first way we're going to do it. But we're going to do it a way that lots of people show you. Okay, so I'm just cutting a 3.5 inch strip. Just a moment. And I'm also going to cut, I'm trying to figure out if this is right. Yeah, I'm also going to cut a 4, we want 3.5 inch triangles, half square triangles. But how we get there is different. So I'm cutting a 4 inch strip. Okay. So I've got a 3.5 inch strip, a 4 inch strip. What else do I need? Oh yeah, if I was doing it the real old way, I need to cut, this is just for my examples, I need to cut 3 7/8. Now I know I got 7/8, that's, let me see, what is that? That's, that's a quarter and that's a quarter. If I want 3/8, then I want halfway between that line and that line, bring it down to where I can cut. Just measuring it up. So now I can cut 3.5 because I've added on 3/8 on this side of my ruler. Yeah? So I can cut that. Now that's the 3 7/8. That's the old fashioned way. So we'll put him up there at the top. I'll just do a little bit, I'm not sure how many I need, but I'll just do, I want some out of this blue fabric as well. So what should I do first? I'll do a 4 inch line on this one. I don't want to use all of it. No, so I'll just, because I'm running very, very low on this navy blue. So I'll just do a 4 inch strip a minute. If I could just get myself lined up on the mat that keeps moving. Yeah. Right, so I'm just going to cut that 4 inches. Alright. Because that'll help me with that 4 inch one. I'll stop there a minute because I can always come back and cut some more fabric if we run out. There's my little bits now. I want this to be 4 inches by 4 inches, don't I? Right, off my 4 inch strip, just cut some 4 inches. That is my 4 inch strip, yeah. So I can just cut 4 inch there, pop that back on. 4 inch there, again I got some. Right, so I've got a couple of 4 inches. What are these? These were 3 7/8, weren't they? So I need to cut them. Yeah. Why doesn't that seem square? Check. Oh, because that was the wrong one. This is a 3-inch strip, which I want to keep as a strip. Oh, getting confused. Right, so this is the 3.5, 3 3/8. So again, I'm going to keep that 3 3/8, 3 7/8. So I'm cutting it 3.5, and I'm cutting it 3.5. Don't worry, I will come back to you with all of this. Let's carry on because I can always edit it. Right, now the old-fashioned way, not the old-fashioned, the way that I think a lot of people find. Let me just see which way round. That's the best side. So if I want 3.5-inch triangle squares, you cut it at 4 inches, yeah? So it's 1/2 inch bigger than what you want. You line it all up very nicely. You can, if you don't trust it, put a pin in it, alright? Pop a pin in to hold them together. And then, from corner to corner, using a ruler, not confuse you, but using a ruler, you literally get your friction pen, because we know this rubs out. Get your friction pen, that's better. You should be able to do yours better than mine. My friction pen is wearing out. Right. And you literally draw a line from corner to corner. And you are going to sew 1/4 inch, so that'll be more or less over there, yeah? You're going to sew 1/4 inch both sides away from that middle line. When we've sewn it, we come back and we splice it. So let me just go and do that. So I have literally just sewn 1/4 inch either side of that blue line. Yeah, you can see it better from the back. I've just sewn 1/4 inch either side of that blue line. Then I can, on the blue line, so that's between my stitching, and I can now take my pins out because that's stitched together. I can now, on my blue stitching, on my blue line, between the stitching, corner to corner, cut that, and I should have, there we are, two triangles of, you know, the two colours that I put together, 2 half square triangles. Now we are going to, I haven't pressed them, but giving them the best press as I can. Then I can get down to, let's see how well this worked, because that was quite an easy fix, wasn't it? So remembering we're trying to make a 3.5 inch square, which is 3.5 on here. No, what's it telling me? Right, it's telling me that that black line and that white line is 3.5 inch. Well, it's not. Alright? To marry that up, and the way you would do this is, I've got a white dotted line, or in fact it's easier if I turn it round because I've got a better one coming the other way, right? So if I put that diagonal line, can you see this diagonal line against my seam? Yeah, to make that a 3.5 inch square, I got to take off that edge. I gotta, where is he? Here. I got to take off that edge. right? Then I'm going to have to turn it round again and pop it back on. Again, marrying up my white line on the centre stitch line. Where am I? Yeah, sorry, I lost my plot there. Marrying up. Where? Yeah. So yeah. 3.5 inch line there. And 3.5 inch line there according to my square. Yes, I can take that away, and now that should have made, just double check it, well actually let's double check it with this one, 2.5 inches approximately, turn it round, 3.5 inches approximately. But to get, so although that was an easy way to do it, cut it at 4, then what we did was we drew a diagonal line, then we sewed a quarter of an inch away from either side of that line, cut up through, and then we had to take the block and then we had to resize the block to be in a 3.5 inch square. So that's one way of doing it. And obviously, as you can see, there's quite a bit. If I'd have sewn it just like that, it'd have put the whole block out. So you do need to resize it to the correct thing once you've sewn it. So that's a very popular method, but not one that I consistently use, because as you can see, it's not accurate and it needs a lot of fussing with. So what's the next one that we can do? So I put them up here out of the way. This is going by my cutting chart, okay, that you could print out. This is the really old way of doing things, but if you cut things accurately, it is accurately and it's easier, right? So I have cut these and I'm just going to check I got the right ones. 3 7/8 by 3.5, yeah. So basically I've got the 3/8 added onto my knot line, so I've cut on the 3.5 inch that way. Turn it round, and exactly the set. Have I done it the same on this one? Just double checking my accuracy first of all. Yeah, right. So I know that that is a 3 7/8, and as I said to you, you always got to add 3/8 on to the size of square that you want to cut diagonally. Yeah. So now with this, before you know, if you cut it accurately, the next thing you need to do is just cut it in half. Yeah. So there's one patch, two patch, because this one asks for 16 patches of white for my thingammy bobbly boo. So we'll, you know, I can cut quite a few. And this one I knew I cut right as well. But now to test it, I haven't got a bit of blue to test it too, but I need some that are, I do need some that are sewn to each other, don't I? I'm just looking at my pattern. No, not really. There's a bit of a bum. They need to be sewn to, they do need to be sewn to blue. Doesn't matter. Just for the sake of argument, let's make sure we got the right sides together. That's the right side. A minute, that's the right side. The right sides together. Yeah. Pop a pin in. And I will just literally sew my 1/4 inch down there now. So I have literally just sewed that together, haven't I? So now, in the same way as we did with this one, we need to test it. And of course it does depend on just how straight a line I've sewn and pressed. But there you are. So I'm going to put my 3.5 inch on here now. Where are you? Just make sure I got you right. Yeah, 3.5 inch on there. Well, you can see, can't you? Really good. So up that side, of course we've got to get rid of our dog ends anyway. Up that side, what did we lose? Not a lot. Turn it round. Put this on. Make sure I'm on correctly, right? Up that side. Up that side. What did we lose? Nothing. So I would be quite confident that if you cut it correctly in the first place, you are going to get the correct size block from it in the end without too much worrying about it. So that's 2 ways of doing it, yeah? And I know which I prefer, which is to cut it the right size in the first place. But there we are. Now we're moving on. Oh, we're doing quite well. That's 2. Did I cut a strip that was the 3.5? I think I did. I cut a strip that was, I'm just checking, is that 3.5? Yeah, I did. Now I wanted to make sure that I had 3.5 because this is another tool now that I use called the folded corner clipper. And you just pop this on, and you see that's on the 3.5 inch mark. Yeah, and obviously you want to be on the outside of your mark. And you literally cut it. So all we've done so far is measured a 3.5 inch strip, haven't we? And then, well, you can turn the ruler around, or as I do, just plop it back on. As long as that top bit is flush and this is flush on the 3.5 inch mark. Yep, and I am going behind myself now. I should have just turned the ruler around, but there, I've just cut 2 triangles without a load of measuring or anything, and put them right sides together. And as I put them right sides together, I can also straight away see I could get rid of that. And if I turn it over and use the other one as a template, yeah, I can get rid of that. So now when I go and sew it together, I don't think I've got anything to cut off. So I just very quickly press that open, right? And again, of course there's no tails to cut really. So let's just pop my 3.5 inch on. Yeah, see? See? Well, slightly. But that's more like my sewing. Just trying to think. It's not that way that needs to come off. I got a little bit of a dip here. So if I put my 3.5 back in, that is my 3.5, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, I knew I was going wrong somewhere. Put my 3.5 back in. No, it's not worth bothering with. It's not worth bothering. So I didn't have to cut anything on that one. So that's the third way of doing it. Yeah, as you can see, they fit. This one, now I cut it, that fits. Yeah, so that's 3 ways of doing it. And I have to say to you, the easiest way so far has been by using this corner clipper, hasn't it? Let me think now. I gotta think, is there a 4th way of doing it? Well, yes, there is. I got a 4th way of doing it because I'm not going to get it all out now, but you know I got an electronic cutter that takes dies from Sizzix or Acrylic Go, and I literally just fan fold the material onto the die, put it between two boards and shove it through the machine. And yes, that's another way of cutting them. But then all you end up with, really, once you've done that, are the shapes like that. So that really is no quicker, in fact it's a lot slower than, I've lost it, than just taking your strip of material, which is 3 inches, 3.5 inches, for this size, 3.5 inches wide, taking your strip of material, which is 3.5, using your corner clipper ruler, and boom, I got it. And if I turn my ruler over and put the lines on it, I can even use the ruler to accurately cut off that tip. So there it is, a perfect shape. So that's 4 ways of doing it, isn't it? I think that'll do. I really think that'll do, because I don't want to sew much more of this together, because I got a feeling I don't want white on my new thing that I'm doing. I do want the blue on the white, so I've got to sort that one out. Okay, I think that'll do for now.